A £100 polo shirt costs £12 to make. The other £88 is not stitching. It is not fabric, it is a logo, and the marketing budget sitting behind it. Today we are ranking 12 men's clothing brands sold across the UK. 7 of them are quietly charging you for a logo and a licensing deal. 5 are actually putting your money into the garment itself. Stay until the end because the brand that comes out on top is not the one you're expecting, and it might change how you shop for good. Let's start with the brand whose heritage story does more talking than its stitching ever will. In 12th place, Barbour. Here's the uncomfortable part. The wax jackets are genuinely made in South Shields, in Barbour's own factory, passing through 36 pairs of hands before they even leave the building. That bit is real. And it's rare in this industry. A Beaufort or a Bedale sits around £250 to £400, and UK labour actually justifies a chunk of that. But here's what most buyers never clock. Wax jackets are not what fills Barbour's rails. Knitwear, printed shirts, quilted gilets, accessories, a lot of that is produced overseas, then sold under the exact same heritage story as the South Shields coats. A quilted gilet can carry the same tartan lining and beaver logo as a £350 jacket. It will cost you £90 to £130. None of the domestic craftsmanship that makes the wax range defensible went into it. That's the trick, and it's a clever one. One small British-made category quietly props up the image for an entire catalogue made somewhere else. You think you're buying countryside heritage. Half the time you're buying a licensed logo on an imported garment, riding on the reputation of the one product line that actually earned it. Number 11, Armani Exchange. Say the word Armani and your brain does the work for you. Italian tailoring, luxury fabric, precision. Armani Exchange delivers none of it. It sits at the very bottom of the Armani hierarchy, below Giorgio Armani, below Emporio. This is the entry-level line, but the material is exit-level. Pick up a top in a UK store and check the tag. Roughly 83% polyester, 17% viscose. That blend costs a manufacturer £8 to £12 to produce. The shirt retails for £60 to £90. That gap is not craftsmanship, and it never was. It's brand licensing, working exactly as designed. Armani Group uses Exchange to hook a younger, price-sensitive shopper. Slap a luxury surname on mass-produced synthetics. Price it high enough to feel premium. Keep it low enough to move volume. The customer believes they've bought into the Armani world. What they've actually bought is a polyester shirt with a famous last name stitched on the chest. £10 to make, £80 to walk out the door with. That ratio alone should end the conversation about what a hang tag is really worth 2 tiers down from the runway that built the name. 10th place, Lacoste. A polo here retails for £75 to £120 depending on the stockist. And the fabric? Standard PK cotton. Not proprietary, not engineered, not rare in any way. The exact same weave shows up on polos from brands charging £20 to £30. So what's the difference? One embroidered crocodile on the left chest, and that logo alone adds £60 to £80 to the price. Estimated production cost on a standard Lacoste polo sits between £10 and £14, covering fabric, labour, trims and freight. That means the retail price runs 6 to 8 times higher than what it actually costs to make. The Made in France editions push past £150, and fair enough, those genuinely carry higher labour costs. But the standard line, stitched together overseas from widely available fabric, does not. So here's a fun test. Strip the crocodile off and put 2 polos side by side. Could you actually tell which one costs £100 and which costs £25? Most people can't. And that single fact tells you everything about what you're really paying for on a British high street rail. Quick pause before we carry on. If seeing the real numbers behind these brands is changing how you look at a price tag, hit subscribe. We break down a new one every week, so you never have to guess again. Number 9, Tommy Hilfiger. Let's break down what a Tommy dress shirt actually costs to produce. A polycotton blend runs £1.50 to £3 per yard. That's roughly £4 in total fabric per shirt. Add trims, labour, factory overhead, the landed cost lands at £7 to £9. That same shirt retails for £70 to £90 in UK department stores. Tommy Hilfiger is owned by PVH Corporation, one of the biggest apparel conglomerates on the planet. And PVH pours serious money into heritage campaigns, celebrity tie-ins, American lifestyle marketing. None of that spending improves the thread count. None of it upgrades the stitching. None of it sources better cotton. It goes straight into the retail price, and you're the one who pays for it. Check the fabric weight on a standard Tommy shirt. It sits around 140 grams per square metre, squarely mid-tier, nothing special. Compare that to a Charles Tyrwhitt shirt at a similar price point, which uses 160 to 180 gram fabric. Hold both in your hands and you'll feel the difference immediately. One feels substantial, the other feels like it's trying not to be noticed. Tommy's fabric is engineered to survive the fitting room test. Not much else. The brand name is doing all the heavy lifting. The thread count simply can't. Number 8. Ralph Lauren. Recent group filings put gross margins north of 65%. Sit with that for a second. For every £100 you spend, only about £30 goes toward actually producing the item. The other £70? Marketing, operations, profit. Take a black label overcoat retailing at £1,800. Estimated production cost around £220. That's close to a 700% markup on a single garment, and that's not a typo. The Polo line runs the same playbook lower down the shelf. Ralph Lauren operates multiple sub-brands: Polo, Lauren, Chaps, RRL, each aimed at a different income bracket, all feeding off the exact same aspirational image built carefully over 7 decades. A polo cotton shirt retailing for £90 to £130 in the UK contains maybe £12 to £15 of actual material. The rest? Brand equity, heritage, lifestyle, positioning. Ralph Lauren didn't just sell clothing, it built an identity, then attached a price tag to belonging. And once that horse logo disappears from the chest, a lot of buyers finally realize what they were paying for. Not craftsmanship, recognition. On cotton that costs less than a round of drinks. 7th place, Hugo Boss. The brand spends hundreds of millions every year on global advertising, regularly above 7% of total revenue. That means for every pound the company earns, about 7 pence goes straight back into marketing. Now look at what that actually buys you. A Hugo Boss suit in a UK department store like John Lewis or House of Fraser retails around £250 to £450. Production cost, £35 to £60. So, the advertising spend per garment nearly matches what it costs to build in the first place. For every pound spent making your suit, almost another pound went into selling it to you. And the construction backs this up. Most Hugo Boss suits use fused construction. The inner lining is glued to the outer fabric, not stitched onto a floating canvas. Fused suits are cheaper to assemble and faster to produce. They are also far more prone to falling apart over time. The glue degrades, the chest panel bubbles, the shape warps after a few dry cleanse. At £400, the money splits almost evenly down the middle. Half builds the garment, half builds the brand. You are wearing an advertisement that happens to have sleeves. And in 6th place, the last name on the avoid list, Ted Baker. This one stings a bit because the brand actually meant something once. British design, premium craftsmanship, real attention to detail. Then in 2022, Authentic Brands Group bought the company and gutted it. The in-house operation is gone. What's left is a pure licensing play. Today, Ted Baker doesn't design anything, doesn't manufacture anything, doesn't quality control anything. It simply rents its name out to third-party licensees scattered across the globe. United Legwear handles menswear in North America. Aldo Group handles footwear and leather goods. A separate satellite team handles creative direction. The brand name travels everywhere. The quality control stayed home. Take a pair of Chelsea boots listed at £190. The leather is corrected grain, the lowest usable grade in the entire leather hierarchy, sanded down and refinished to hide the flaws underneath. It costs roughly 40% less to source than full grain. Estimated production cost, £25 to £35. That's a 5 to 7 times markup on a material that cracks and peels faster than anything labelled premium ever should. And the reviews confirm it. Glue separating within weeks, stitching unraveling after a few months. When a brand becomes nothing but a name on a license agreement, the product stops being the priority. The royalty check is quick reset before we flip the list. 7 brands down, all built on the same trick, charge you for the name, not the garment. Now we're switching sides completely, 5 brands that spend the money where it actually counts. If you've made it this far, tap subscribe now, because the next 5 brands might genuinely change what's in your wardrobe. Number 5. Uniqlo. Here's a stat worth knowing. Less than 1% of the world's cotton qualifies as supima grade, American grown, extra long staple, measurably stronger and softer than ordinary cotton. Most brands that use it charge £45 or more for a single shirt. Uniqlo charges £14.90, and they don't hide behind vague language either. Every UK product page lists the full fabric composition, exact percentages, no marketing spin, just the material data sitting right next to the price. Their Supima cotton tees run £14.90 to £19.90. Compare that to the Lacoste polo from earlier, £90 for standard cotton with no certification at all. And it doesn't stop at t-shirts. Uniqlo's stretch selvage jeans retail around £39.90. Selvage denim is woven on old-school shuttle looms, denser, tougher, and it actually ages with character instead of falling apart. Most brands charge £100 or more for the same thing. Uniqlo's markup runs roughly 3 to 4 times production cost. Compare that to the 8 to 10 times markup we just walked through. No celebrity contracts inflating the number. No heritage mythology baked into the margin. Just verified fabric, functional design, and a price that reflects what it actually costs to make. Number 4. Charles Tyrwhitt. £75 for a dress shirt sounds steep until you see what's actually behind that number. Tyrwhitt prints the full spec on every product page. Fiber content, thread count, weave type. Not a vague promise about quality, an actual verifiable figure you can compare against any competitor on the market. The company was founded in 1986 on Jermyn Street, the historic home of English shirt making. But Tyrwhitt doesn't hide behind that heritage story. Its shirts are made in Vietnam, and the label says so, plainly. No pretense, no misdirection. That kind of honesty is rare at this price point. Shirts run £75 to £129 on the UK site. The direct-to-consumer model cuts out the wholesale layer entirely, so the final price lands at 2 to 3 times the landed cost. Compare that to Tommy Hilfiger, sitting at 8 to 10 times production cost for a thinner, lighter fabric with 0 published specs. With Tyrwhitt, the data is right there on the page. Thread count, fiber origin, construction method. Every claim is backed by a number you can check. In an industry built on vague adjectives, proof like that is genuinely rare. Number 3, Spoke London. Here's a question worth asking. No 2 waists, seats or thighs are shaped the same, so why does every pair of chinos on the high street still come in small, medium and large? That question is the entire reason Spoke exists. The brand offers around 150 size combinations against the 5 or 6 most retailers stock. 3 distinct builds, narrow, regular, wide, finished to your exact waist and leg length down to the inch. The cotton is woven in Italy. The hardware is cast in Switzerland. Every single pair is cut and sewn in Europe, not shipped in bulk from one generic pattern. Chinos run £80 to £90. That sounds steep next to a £45 pair off a supermarket rail until you realise what that price is actually funding. A fitting system, not a marketing budget. Long-term customers report years of daily wear with no sagging seat, no collapsing hem, the 2 failure points that kill cheap chinos within a single season. Spoke isn't selling you a logo, and it isn't selling you a heritage story either. It's selling a pattern built for a body that a generic medium was never going to fit properly in the first place. Number 2, suit supply. Walk into most suit shops and ask one simple question: is this fused or is it canvassed? Watch the salesperson hesitate, Most won't know, some won't tell you even if they do. Suit Supply puts the answer right there on the product page before you've even walked through the door. Every suit is labelled by construction type, half canvas, full canvas, clearly, with no fine print and no ambiguity. A half canvas suit starts around £499. Full canvas runs £799 to £999. For context, competing brands charge £1,200 or more for half canvas alone. Suit Supply controls its own supply chain from fabric sourcing right through to the finished product. No licensing fees stacked on top, no wholesale markups, no third-party distribution costs quietly eating into what you get. The markup sits at roughly 2 to 3 times a landed cost, a fraction of what we've seen elsewhere on this list. Here's the direct contrast with Hugo Boss. At similar or lower prices, Suit Supply gives you canvassed construction, where the inner lining is actually stitched into the jacket, never glued. It drapes naturally. It molds to your body over time. It survives a dry clean without bubbling or warping. The label, the build, and the price all say the same thing for once. Suit Supply delivers the suit that Hugo Boss only advertises. And finally, number 1, Private White VC. Every single garment is made by hand inside Cottenham House, a factory on the banks of the River Irwell in Manchester that has been running since 1853, the last surviving clothing factory in the city that industrialised the entire world. The name comes from Private Jack White, who won the Victoria Cross in the First World War, came home to Manchester and eventually took over the very factory he had trained in. His great-grandchildren run it today. Take the Manchester peacoat. It uses 30-ounce Melton wool woven in Yorkshire, then cut and sewn on site, not outsourced to a licensee, not shipped in from a contract factory on another continent. Coats retail from roughly £900 up to £1,300. That price covers UK wages, domestically woven cloth, and construction done by people working in the exact same building where the garments are designed. Nothing in that number is a licensing fee. Nothing is a celebrity contract. Nothing is a marketing budget dressed up as craftsmanship. In an industry where almost every brand on this list rents its name out to a factory on another continent, Private White VC still owns the factory, the workers, and the result. That is precision at every single level. That is why it is number 1. 12 brands, 1 list. 1 lesson that won't leave you alone next time you're stood in a changing room. The more a brand spends telling you how good it is, the less it spends actually making something that proves it. Your wardrobe is either an investment or an invoice. After today, you know exactly which one you've been buying.